We've all had some pretty embarrassing moments, and unfortunately for some people, the moments are usually caught on camera. And in this video, we'll look at the Descendants cast most embarrassing moments. Cameron Boyce. Just like every other person in the entertainment industry, Cameron Boyce has had several embarrassing moments. One time, Cameron wanted to check how far he was in the audition list, and the paper was right in the middle of the room. However, when he reached out to get the paper, he had the biggest urge to fart when he was in the middle of the room. Everyone saw how hard he tried not to let it go, but unfortunately he couldn't hold it any longer, and he let nature take its course, and it was so embarrassing. Fans of Cameron Boyce may also know that his first job was a print ad for Disney where he had to do a weird pose with his legs and mouth wide open. Many years down the line, his friends still sent him the photos and laughed about it, and every time it was super embarrassing. Another very embarrassing moment was his first kiss that happened when Cameron was about 11. One day, he decided to kiss his girlfriend on the forehead, but she lifted her head and caught his lips. Let's just say that Cam was not prepared for the kiss, and what followed was one of the most embarrassing moments of his life. He described it as the most uncool, unromantic first kiss ever. In one of his interviews, Cameron Boyce also described an embarrassing moment that happened on the set on Descendants 2. The cast members were supposed to do a routine on a gymnastics pole, but they ended up having very embarrassing falls which Cameron Boyce could not describe. Cameron also had one weird fan experience when a lady who was so many years older than he was approached him and told him to kiss her. Cameron wasn't sure whether she wanted him to kiss her on the lips, but he just walked away, embarrassed. Sophia Carson. One of Sophia's most embarrassing moments involves those cheesy pickup lines that some people still use, like, "Hey, my name's Microsoft. Can I crash at your place tonight? Do you like raisins? How do you feel about a date? If I could rearrange the alphabet, I'd put you and I together." Yeah, people still say such things. And it happened to Sophia Carson not so long ago. So someone one day approached Sophia and in a very cheesy voice said, "Hey, baby, did it hurt when you fell?" Sophia told him that she is clumsy, but she had not fallen in a while. Then the guy continued, "From heaven?" Let's just say Sophia didn't have the words to explain how embarrassing that moment was for both of them, since she didn't answer the guy afterwards. Her advice, though, do not use those cheesy pickup lines, ever. In high school, Sophia also had a couple of embarrassing moments because she was the nerd type and not the cool type. While she was in school, all the cool girls used to wear short skirts, but Sophia's skirts were always below the knee, and her socks were also above the knee. Looking back, she says she was embarrassed, but she learned to embrace her nerd side. Thomas Doherty. Doherty's most embarrassing moment happened when they were shooting the video It's Going Down on Descendants. He was supposed to go around a pillar and grab his target, but Thomas decided to jump and grab his target. Unfortunately, that resulted in a rather embarrassing fall into the woods, and everything had to stop for a couple of minutes before they continued. His first kiss was also pretty embarrassing, and he told the story that when he was doing an interview with Cameron Boyce. When they were younger, Thomas and his friends would dare girls to kiss their friends, but he never knew how embarrassing it could be until it happened to him. One day, one of his friends stood behind him and asked a random girl to kiss him. He didn't say if she went through with it, but Thomas said that the moment was very embarrassing, not just for him, but also for the random girl who had been asked to kiss him. Well, nothing tops an embarrassing moment Thomas had to go through in college. One time he was very hungry, and when he walked past a reception, he saw donuts. Doherty took a donut and ate it on the spot without asking, and the next day he had to watch himself on the CCTV while eating the donut. So embarrassing. Chyna and McLean. Like several other cast members in Descendants, Chyna Ann started her acting career at a very young age. She was discovered in 2005 by a music executive who heard her singing and encouraged director Rob Hardy to audition her for his 2005 feature film, The Gospel. McLean auditioned for the Disney Channel original movie Jump In and won a role but turned it down to instead star in the TV series Tyler Perry's House of Pain and Jasmine Payne, after catching Tyler Perry's attention. Disney kept working with McLean, where she booked several guest roles in the years to come. She appeared in the movie Daddy's Little Girls with her sisters, Sierra and Lauren, who are also actresses and played her older sisters in the film. Obviously, during her years in the spotlight, she experienced some rather embarrassing moments, and one involved a crush. Sometimes the thought of just having a crush can be very embarrassing, and it gets worse when an embarrassing moment happens in front of the crush. Yeah, this was the case with Chyna and McLean. In one of her interviews, when she was asked to describe an embarrassing moment she had with a crush, Chyna Ann said, "The only embarrassing moment I've ever had with a crush was when he overheard me telling my friends that I liked him. That was so embarrassing. I was quite flustered for a minute." Brenda D'Amico plays Jane in Disney's Descendants franchise and still finds time to make videos for her YouTube channel. From that, we know she's a talented actress and a musician with a goofy side. She revealed that her most embarrassing moment happened on the set of Descendants. There was a pretty dress that she wore in Descendants with ruffles and a pink bow tie on Family Day. When the AD told Brenda that they were ready for her, she thought she knew where the steps were. Unfortunately, one of her heels got caught in the opening of the step and she tumbled over and almost ripped the dress. The AD told her that she should give him a minute to laugh before helping her up. Brenda just lay there embarrassed for a hot second. Luckily, there were no major damages, and she just needed a few touch-ups to get ready. Boo Boo Stewart. Boo Boo is another cast member from Descendants who's definitely not a stranger in the entertainment industry. In 2010, Stewart appeared in the movie Logan, a coming-of-age story about two brothers. He also portrayed Seth Clearwater in the Twilight Saga, Eclipse, the third installment of the Twilight Saga film series. In 2012, Stewart starred in the movie White Frog as Nick Young, a teen with Asperger's syndrome. In 2013, he played the lead role in Running Deer, an award-winning short film produced and directed by Brent Ryan Green through Toy Gun Films. Stewart also appeared in 2014's X-Men: Days of Future, past acting as Warpath. In 2013, Stewart appeared in Space Warriors alongside Danny Glover, Dermot Mulroney, Josh Lucas, and Myra Sorvino. Stewart then starred in the 2015 Disney Channel original movie Descendants as Jay, the son of Jafar. He reprised his role in the 2017 and 2019 sequels, Descendants 2 and Descendants 3. On the various sets, he has had several embarrassing moments, but the worst were the ones from Descendants because the franchise was action-packed with so much singing and dancing. Boober Stewart revealed that while they were filming the movies, his costume sometimes used to rip apart in very embarrassing places. Dylan Playfair. Dylan happens to be the son of Edmonton Oilers associate coach Jim Playfair, who's best known throughout the hockey community for his legendary blow-up on the officials during his time behind the bench with the Abbotsford Heat. He counts the blow-up as an embarrassing moment because people still bring it up even though it happened over 10 years ago. Dylan also had another embarrassing moment as a result of a sincere mistake. Before Disney announced the release date for Descendants 2, he posted a picture on social media and added the release date. Dylan took down the post a few minutes later, but fans had already seen the post and word of the release date spread like wildfire. We doubt he got punished for announcing the release date before Disney, but he probably got a stern warning from the production. Sarah Jeffrey. The cast of Descendants were lucky enough to have a bed on the set, and Mal and Uma couldn't resist closing their eyes even just for a moment. However, one person who definitely enjoyed a good sleep on the bed was Audrey when she turned from evil to good, and they had to wait for Hades to work his magic on her. Audrey fell into a deep, embarrassing sleep, and the crew had to wake her up to continue filming. Fortunately, she compensated for that moment with her powerful vocals. Viewers barely got the chance to hear her sing in Descendants 1, and many probably assumed that she wasn't a good singer. Audrey may not have been in Descendants 2, but when she came back in D3, she was a masterpiece with the song Queen of Mean. Mitchell Hope. Mitchell Hope is the only Australian actor on the cast of Descendants, and people didn't know much about him until he was cast on Descendants as Ben. He was just about to quit acting before he was cast on the franchise, and now there's no looking back. Unlike most of the Descendants cast members, Mitchell doesn't have a musical history. In fact, most fans doubt whether Mitchell actually sings in the Descendants franchise. On Descendants, Mitchell also has to be a bit weird, especially with the dances, and he admitted that sometimes it can be pretty embarrassing. Dove Cameron. Dove Cameron has had several embarrassing moments in her life, but the most embarrassing moment happened when she was participating in a musical as a kid. There was a point in the musical when the lead singer was supposed to sing while everyone else stood still. However, Dove Cameron started dancing in the middle of the performance when everyone else was still, and the attention shifted from the lead to Dove. The next day, the musical was in the newspaper, and Dove Cameron got an honorable mention. We can't imagine how embarrassed she was for the next couple of days. Dove Cameron also described an embarrassing moment that happened during the Cloud 9 auditions. As you may know, she shared the spotlight with Luke Benward on the show, but they had to kiss during auditions. And it's usually pretty awkward when people have to audition with strangers, and the casting team made it more cringeworthy by adding a kiss. Well, even though it was super embarrassing for tiny Dove to kiss Luke, who was already huge and super cute, they must have done a remarkable job since they were both cast in the movie. Dove Cameron also had a rather embarrassing moment when they were shooting the clips for If Only in Descendants in a Forest. She was the only one needed for the scene, and there were only around 10 crew members with her. However, Kenny Ortega had invited the other cast members without telling Dove, and they had planned to scare her. In the middle of the shoot, Dove heard something approaching fast, and her instincts told her there was a large animal approaching. She tried to run, fell off a log, and when she looked up, the cast members were crying from laughter. So embarrassing. Fortunately for Dove, that behind-the-scenes footage never made it to the internet. There was also another incident that was embarrassing for Dove Cameron and her director, Kenny Ortega. Many viewers had reason to believe that Kenny was inappropriate toward Dove and that she looked uncomfortable and scared around him, especially in a particular footage where the director looked like he was grabbing up on Dove. She was quick to deny allegations and said that it was disrespectful for people to claim that her director was inappropriate. Dove also went ahead and stated that Kenny Ortega was not into women. As much as many people believed her, some thought that she only defended Kenny because her career was on the line. Well, we know that the cast members will continue to have embarrassing moments because they're still in the entertainment industry, and we'll keep a close eye for you. As always, this has been Riveted.